In this tutorial, I'm going to review how you can use this toolkit to walk your design and generate example paths or journeys through the design. And these are used for two different purposes. The journey text files that you'll create are useful, and I'll just show you one here, to share with somebody or just for yourself to read, to see what would the system say, followed by the user, what the system says, followed by the user, what the system. So this is one traversal of the system. And you can generate these and take a look to see what your design is actually going to do. And it's useful to, for example, to give these to stakeholders because they can read these and understand them. Sometimes looking at the graph is more complicated and difficult to understand exactly what it's going to do. But if you can generate the paths through the graph and study them, it's a way for you to know whether or not this design is doing what you want it to do. So in addition to these journey texts, which are human readable, there's also a way to generate Sierra test cases, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But you can use those to actually use another system to call up your IVR and test it. So you can create your regression suite with this tool, and after you've done the design, you tell it to go ahead and generate your regression suite, and it does, and then the regression suite can be automatically executed. So first, let me go through the method for creating these journey scripts and or journey texts. And it starts by looking at a design, and it... Dad. Thanks, Ava. So inside of each of the grammar states, there's a key named simulations. And maybe if I make this a little bit bigger, it's easier to understand. I've specified a set of responses that I want to generate for this grammar state. For example, I want to have one time I'm going to say start over, and then yes, and then no, and then stop. So these are a set of things. And for example, you can see here's the yes, here's the no, here's the start over, here's the stop. These are the set of things that I want the simulation to run. I'm not really interested in the sure, right, yeah, fine, all the different ways that you could say yes. For example, you could say yeah, why, sure, okay, fine, all right, yep, oh, yeah. I don't want to generate all of those. I'm only interested in the four that are semantically important for this particular grammar state. And similarly, if I look at the simulations for the favorite color question, I'm really only interested in three: red, blue, and green. I don't care about the scarlet and the aqua and the teal or whatever it was. So these are in the design. I've said when you do a simulation, that is when this thing generates the set of inputs, these are the cases that I'm interested in. Later on, when this all gets imported into the GUI, into the VTK GUI, and I say generate the set of use cases, it's going to take all of the inputs that were possible here, and there's four, right? There's start over, yes, no, and stop. And then over here, there's red, blue, and green. So there's three of them here. So the 4 times the 3 is 12. There'll be 12 paths through this graph that we're going to generate. Now to do that, when I'm over here in the VTK GUI, I let's run this again. I'm going to read in the XML file, and I'm going to say, give me the user journeys, and it's going to say, oh, tell me where to start. And I'm going to start with the module 2 start. I'm going to say, give me the user journeys, and it says done. And the journey scripts have been generated and written to the subdirectory. And over here in the subdirectory, oops, we can see all of these got generated. We looked at the this one. We can choose another one of these at random. This is the, are you feeling okay? Yes. So it'll be yes, blue, yes, green, yes, red, and then no, blue, no, red, no, green. And then also remember, because this thing has has a global grammar, it's also going to have the possible inputs to the global responses. So for example, this one's odd. Are you feeling okay? Start over. Are you feeling okay? Start over. Are you feeling okay? Start over. But remember, that was in our design here, where we said, are you feeling okay? Start over brings us back to the same spot. It turns out that the global behavior looping variable down here will basically stop us, and we'll only loop that so many times. So that's an example of how you can generate the user journeys. There's another format that we can generate besides the journey text, which is the Sierra XML. And you can see here there's also 12 of these generated. And instead of being human readable, instead these are meant to be consumed by the Sierra IVR testing platform. And these XML files are read in by Sierra, and the Sierra box will actually place a call. And it will use text-to-speech to generate the question. Excuse me, I take that back. It'll listen for, it has a speech recognizer in it, so it'll listen for the IVR saying, are you feeling okay? And then here on the reply text, it'll use text-to-speech to reply yes. And then it's going to expect to hear, using a speech recognizer, that's good, what's your favorite color? So this system can then automatically execute this test case, and since we have 12 of them, you could go through and generate. So you can use the design tool to generate your use cases or your regression suite for your application. And if you change the application or change the prompts, you can regenerate your regression suite with a push of a button. And that should make your life a little bit easier.